Hi guys, JP from FSiPanel. I hope you're well. Today I will show you the new way to import training scenario in FSiPanel 2020 Advanced Edition. I got a lot of feedback that from the forum it was not very convenient. So now you have a new way to get all the scenario directly imported in your database. So let me show you how to do that. So I will load a 737 in Geneva, or in fact we can use the Fenix as it's already loaded. So the idea is to have an aircraft that is compatible, the one you want to fly, ready at an airport, and then we will launch FSiPanel. So let's start FSiPanel and we will see what kind of training scenarios are available for that aircraft. All right, as always, we are in Geneva, and if I click on training scenario, you can see that we have a couple of scenarios right there. And to import the new scenarios now, this is what you can do. You go to setup, and in setup you find the tab scenarios. So if you click on scenarios, now you will see the new scenarios that are available for your aircraft. Right now we are on the Fenix A320, so those are the scenario. I will show you as well one new feature, which is the ATC interaction. So for that, the latest scenario used that function. So this is the Geneva to Zurich. So if you click on that, now you will get information what is that scenario all about. You see where you have to start your aircraft. So in Geneva at gate 8, you have the weather to be used and the level of difficulties is right there. Then if you click on check lesson plan, you get the lesson plan directly downloaded where you can have a look at the training scenario itself. Every information is right there. The YouTube tutorial is not yet available. If somebody flies that scenario or myself and it's available as a tutorial, then you will just click that button and you will get directly linked to the YouTube video. And finally, we get the download scenario right there. So if you click on download scenario, now you can see that the weather preset is installed and the scenario has been added to my database. So basically from there, I am ready to fly. I just need to position my aircraft at the right place. And as you know, we need to load the weather file. So unfortunately for that, you need to restart MSFS, then select Geneva, gate 8 and load the weather file. Then finally, you can see this option that I want to show you today. It's the push to talk required with a joystick button. So this will let you call ATC basically for further instruction. So if you enable it, then you need to set up which joystick button you want to use as a push to talk. So there you have to make sure that your button is not yet configured in MSFS or in any other add-on. And then you can scan your joystick. So if you click on scan my joystick, I get that warning. When ready, click OK. You will then have 30 seconds to click on your desired button. So I will do that right now. I click OK, and now I'm on my controller. I click my button, and as you can see now, it's been detected as controller number 1 and button number 6. And from there, I'm ready to go. So I will restart MSFS in Geneva at gate 8 on the Fenix, and I will show you the new feature with the push to talk button. See you when the sim is available. Here we go, the sim is ready. I'm in Geneva. I click ready to fly, and we can go ahead and have a look at the scenario instructions. So if I go to FSiPanel now and I go training scenario, you can see that I have now the Geneva Zurich that appear right there. It's been installed, and if I look at the instruction note, then I get the instructions. So basically I can be parked at any position along the main terminal. That's done. The aircraft weight and fuel is now set automatically by FSiPanel, so you don't need to worry about that. This is the clearance for your flight. The MCDU will be completely programmed, the weather, and now the procedure. So we started MSFS in Geneva. We make sure the aircraft is powered with APU or GPU. So let's do that. So we will go directly on the APU. So for that, I will use the EFB, and we will go directly under the APU right there. Here we go. So I select turn around with APU, activate. Now my aircraft will start. So let's see what's next on the Setup here, start FSiPanel, we have it already there. Select and start the scenario. Do not interfere with the cockpit setup until you get the first ATC clearance, and that's it. So basically, let's go ahead and do that. So now I'm in FSiPanel. I will click Start Training. And now this is where everything happens. And from that point, do not touch anything, just wait. FSiPanel is now setting, as you can see, your aircraft weight. It will set the whole cockpit. So I will move a little bit forward that video until the aircraft is ready. The whole setup process takes less than 2 minutes. So let me move forward and you can see the MCDU setup in fast forward. Here we go. Setup is done completely by FSiPanel. You can see your FCU is all set. My overhead panel is set. We are ready for the before start checklist. Everything is done in the MCDU. We have our takeoff speed or performance. And now what is new is that you have to interact with ATC. So you can see now scenario start. When ready, contact the ground on 121680 for the ATC clearance. All right, so what you have to do is to select the right frequency. If you don't have the right frequency, nothing's gonna happen. So make sure to copy the frequency, to write it down, or to dial it before you press acknowledge. So 121680, that is my ground frequency in Geneva. So I can put it active, and now I can acknowledge the button. And I can request my ATC clearance. So to request the ATC clearance, you just transmit to Geneva ground requesting your ATC clearance and release your push to talk button and expect to get the ATC clearance. So let's try that right now. Geneva ground, FSI 145, stand 8, ready for ATC clearance to Zurich. We have information Charlie QNH 1022. And I release the push to talk, and let's hope that we get a clearance. Here we go. FSI 145, cleared Zurich as filed. Conil 5 at departure, runway 22, climb 9001354. So normally FSiPanel has done that for you. It's always good to give it a try and to check that it's correct. What we have right there, so we have the right departure, should be set Conil 5 Juliet, runway 22, flight level 900. And the squawk, that is something we have to type in 1354. 1354. And as we will be ready for push, I will put it on auto already. Now contact apron on 121855 when ready for pushback. So select 121855 or write it down, make sure you have it. It's now active on my COM1, and whenever I'm ready, I will call for pushback. Right, so at this stage, we can call GS6 or your favorite pushback truck. So let me call GS6 right there, and we say prepare for pushback and departure. And we will do the before start, and then you will see how to request pushback. So let's go before start. So fuel pumps, they all comes on. Then we are going to turn on the beacon, as well the strobe light to auto, just in case we forgot it later on. Seatbelt is on, and all doors are closed. So we are ready for pushback. Perfect. So now we are going to request our pushback clearance. So I have the right frequency, and I can go ahead with the push to talk. Apron, good afternoon. FSI 145, stand 8, ready, push and start. Now you release your button, and normally you will get the ATC clearance. Here you go, FSI 145, cleared for pushback facing east, QNH is 1022, confirmed, report, ready for taxi. Acknowledge. So next time we call ATC, we are ready for taxi. So we are going to start the engine, and once we are ready for taxi, we call again ATC. All right, let's have a look outside here. We are ready, nose to the left. Remove chocks. Yes, on the Fenix we need to remove the chocks, that's correct. So ground services, remove chocks. Here we go. And now she will lift up the aircraft and will be ready for push and start. All right, release parking brake, done. All engines clear. Let's start number 2. Number 2 is starting. Here we go. All right, number 2 is available. Engine started. Let's go number 1. Start number 1. Roger that. Parking brake is set. And let's give the good engine start as it takes a while. Confirm good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right, starting number 1, then we'll be ready for taxi. By the way, I think I will fly that scenario all the way to landing. So if you want to fly it by yourself, do not watch the video to the end. Just watch until I go airborne, or as long as you want in the video, but don't see the action, otherwise you will not experience it yourself. All right, so starting number 1, we are almost ready. She's disconnecting. I can see the truck moving perfect and available. Let's go. Off, arm, flaps 2. And we are going to turn off the APU. That's it. Now let's have a look at flaps performance there for takeoff. I think was flaps 2 computed by FSiPanel, yeah, flaps 2, so we are good. All right, we are ready for taxi. Let's call for taxi clearance. So I have the same frequency, that's apron, and I will call now for taxi. FSI 145, ready for taxi. Clear signal received, she has the pin, perfect. So let's turn on taxi light on, and we get the ATC instruction. FSI 145, taxi holding point 22 via inner, that's where we are. Link 5, that's the one right there, and the outer taxiway. Perfect, straightforward. So let's go and start taxiing the airplane toward our runway. So that new feature that I'm showing you today is the interaction with ATC. It brings a little bit more immersions. For that, as explained before, you need to select a button. If you don't activate that feature, you still need to change the frequencies and to have the right frequency dialed in your radio box, but you don't need to actually press a push to talk button. So as soon as you change your frequency, then the next instruction will come. All right, this is link 5. To the left, it's all clear. So we are going to take link 5. And then we got the instructions to go via the outer taxiway, which is the one in front of us. We can see the black sign outer. and we will have it as well written on the ground here on the bottom right on the screen, outer. So we are in the right place. By the way, this is Geneva by Aerosoft, if I'm not mistaken. Very nicely done. I used to fly from there, so I really love it. This scenario is nicely done. All right, here we go. We are on the outer taxiway. We have a truck here coming. That's the beauty of MSFS. And I think we're just gonna go across it, because it's not gonna move. Are you going to move? No, it's not gonna move. All right. That's the beauty of the simulator. MSFS sometimes throws some objects in front of you and you get stuck. Let's hope we don't crash right there. Well, it's not elegant, but yeah, what to do? All right, flight control, full left, full right, central, full up, full down, central. We go rudder, full left, full right. I'm sure I should have a way to disconnect the steering when we do that. All right, good. So this is done. Nobody in front of us. I already switched on the radar, and let's go auto brake max and try a takeoff config, and we should be normal. Perfect. All right, taxiing to holding point 22. Normally we should get further instructions later on to contact tower. The frequency in Geneva for the tower is 1187. So if you know the frequency beforehand, it's always a good idea to pre-dial the frequency so you don't get surprised and you don't lose too much time when you are airborne and you need to switch frequencies. All right, cabin is ready, and we get the instruction FSI 145. When ready, contact the Geneva Tower on 1187. Have a safe flight. Perfect. So you always acknowledge an ATC instructions with the button, and then you contact the other sector with your push to talk. So now I have 1187. I will put it active, and when we are ready, we can contact the tower. So we are reaching our takeoff runway. I will just pre-select my departure. I think it's 11953. Well, it's single pilot, we have to put priorities. So I will fly the airplanes, taxi the airplane first, and then set my frequency. It's not a big deal. All right, we are ready, so let's contact tower. Tower, hello, FSI 145, holding short runway 22, ready for departure. Release the ATC button, the push to talk, and let's see if we get a reply. Yes, line up and wait, runway 22, expect departure in 1 minute. Perfect. So approach sector is clear, on the runway is clear. It's runway 22 identified. Let's line up this runway. Strobe light on, and the transponder goes on. Here we are, ready for takeoff. We got the clearance now, FSI 145, clear for takeoff, runway 22. Wind 270 at 15 knots, so slightly from the right. We are clear to go. Let's go. Time, landing lights on as we are clear for takeoff. And we are clear to go. So let's go. Okay, Manflex 66 SMS runway nav blue. Here we go, 80 knots, releasing the pressure slowly. V1 rotates. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Nav. Above 50 feet, let's go. Autopilot 1, SRS nav, climb blue. As well, on this departure, we are going to turn to the right toward the Jura, which is a little mountain here in Switzerland. And this is why you have a speed restriction on your SID. So make sure you do not fly more than 190 knots, as on the chart, or you might hit the terrain. Alright, climb thrust set. The idea of the 190 knots is to reduce the radius, your turn radius, to make sure you stay away from the terrain. And as well, you have a better climb performance with 190. That's the reason why. Alright, we are turning right. Let me show you what I meant. You see here that the right turn, we need to be very careful not to go fast, or we might touch that nice mountain over there. All right, what do we have now? As well, you see that the aircraft doesn't accelerate. This is because of the noise abatement procedures in Geneva, so it's completely normal. So you just wait until 3000 feet AGL and the aircraft will start accelerating. All right, FSI 145, contact departure 11953. So 11953, active, acknowledge. Now I can go flaps 1. And I'm going to contact departure. Departure hello, FSI 145, 6000 feet, climbing 900 on a Conil 5 Juliet departure. You can see the aircraft is maintaining maximum 190 knots. FSI 145, radar contact, continue climb 130. Okay, 130 set. And I can acknowledge. So the speed restriction is, if I push constraint, there we should see the speed constraint of 190 knots to Golf 603. That's why the aircraft is maintaining 190 knots. You can see the S bug, so right now I could go flaps up, or you can just wait until you pass that point, and now you will see that the speed increased to 250 knots, and now it's a good time to go flaps up. 7000 feet is transitions. Let's go standard and cross-check the altimeter. I see 71 now, same on my first officer side, and that one I have to set it manually to 1013. All right. Come on, give me 1013. Here we go. All right, so now flaps up, no light. Let's go for the after takeoff checklist. Those lights goes off and retract the speed brake. And pressurization is going well. We are climbing. No issues there. Perfect. On our way to Zurich. This flight takes around 30 minutes. We're going to have some light actions during that flight, nothing complicated. The idea of that training scenario is to show you the interaction with ATC. That's the new feature of FSiPanel Advanced Edition. And to have sometimes normal flight where you can just follow ATC's vectors and do your flight. So this is what we are doing today. So we are approaching 10,000 feet. Turn off the landing light and the weather looks good. We can release the cabin crew. So seatbelt sign off, and non-smoking stays on, of course. Nobody wants to smoke on that airplane. All right, what's next? FSI 145 contact Swiss radar 1289er. All right, you see now I acknowledge. If I don't remember the frequency, at the end of your lesson plan, you get all the frequency in case you forgot it. So 1289er is the next one. So I will dial it here, 1289er. And that's gonna be Swiss radar. And if you don't switch to the right frequency, you will have no reply. So if you don't get any reply, you probably don't have the right frequency. Swiss radar, hello, this is FSI 145, flight level 120, climbing 130. All right, let's see if we get a reply there. Here we go, FSI 145 identified, climb level 150, direct to Sozal. So 150, direct to Sozal. So what I suggest you guys, do not acknowledge before you do the action. Therefore, you can always cross-check everything. So we have Sozal. Sozal, that's what we want, flight level 150. Now I can acknowledge. That's a way to make sure we don't have any issue with the ATC instructions. Or the other way is you just write it down somewhere, but make sure you always have track of your ATC instructions. All right, we are going to Sozal. Sozal, by the way, is a city called Lausanne. It's a very nice city here next to the lake if you want to visit. I'm living very close by to that place. So if some of you are coming in that area, feel free to send me an email, then we can have a coffee at the airport. There is a very small airport right there called La Blécherette. Next, it's around 60 kilometers from Geneva. A very nice place to be. All right, so this is Sozal. This is my place is around right there. Sometimes I overfly it in MSFS. So that's a nice flight for me, this Geneva-Zurich. I used to do it quite a lot. Swiss flies around 10 times a day from Geneva to Zurich and vice versa. So short flights to bring passengers to the main hub in Zurich. So that's very nice. And it's a sightseeing flight. As you stay low, you stay at flight level 150 and 160 in the opposite direction. Oh, master caution. What do we got here? Master caution. And we've got the electrical IDG2 oil overheat. So you can see that the IDG number 2 is increasing. So we need to turn it off to isolate it from the engines to avoid a fire or something. So IDG2 off. So let's find it over there. IDG2 confirm, number 2 off. And it's off. Perfect. And basically that's it. Let's have a look about the system status. Cat 3 single only. The weather today is perfect. No worries about that. Cat 3 dual. All right. We don't need any low visibility today. The main galley. So here I will call the cabin crew to tell them we might have some problem in the back with the galley. And finally the generator 2. Fine. So if we look in electrical, now we can see that our generator number 1 is powering the bus AC1 and is as well powering the AC2. So the aircraft is fully capable, but as mentioned in the status page, we are no low visibility, and as well we do have an issue with the cabin galley. All right, so in our flight now what we will do is called foredeck. So that's a decision-making tool so that you can use anytime you have a small malfunction or a severe malfunctions and you have time. So the main thing with this foredeck is to have time. So you can see it on your screen now. What is foredeck? So the first letter is F for facts. So now we discuss between us with my first officer facts. We have lost one generator. Now options. We are looking at options. And when we talk about options, we are talking about airports. So the options here are Geneva, Zurich. That's the two main options. We don't want to pick something funny or too small runways, or if the weather is not very good. So for that we have the next one, which is the risk and the benefit. So an options, always make sure that you choose options that are available for you. So here you can check your weather for Geneva, it's open. You can check your weather for Zurich, it's open. And now you look at the risk and benefit. What will be the risk to go back to Geneva? or what will be the benefit to go back to Geneva versus Zurich. So in that case, we can say destination is Zurich, the passenger wants to go to Zurich, and we know that we have spare parts in Zurich and we have better maintenance in Zurich. So basically everything goes in favor for Zurich. The QRH doesn't ask for an immediate landing. So now we come to the next point, which is D, like decision. So now the captain decide based on all the inputs as well bring by the first officer. So this decision is we're flying to Zurich, we continue to Zurich. So now the decision is made, we execute, so nothing has to be changed in the flight plan. If we would have decided to go to Geneva, then execute means inform ATC, inform your cabin crew, maybe do a passenger's announcement, and then update your MCDU for the new destination. And finally, we've got the last C that you can see on your screen, which is check and review. Basically, if any time you feel that your decision is not the good one or you have a change in the facts, let's say now we have another electrical malfunction, so now it's more severe, now maybe we need to divert to the closest place. So then Geneva will be the best option for us. So that's the meaning of the foredeck. So we have decided we continue to Zurich, everything is good, and let's continue. So Zurich, we're expecting runway 14, so let me put the destinations there, data. We are QNH 1022. This weather, you can get it right there in the lesson plan. So Zurich, we have 1022, the wind is 210 at 5 knots and 10 degrees. 10 degrees, 210 at 5 knots. And we are going to bring Navigraph to see what the minimum is for ILS 14. Okay, ILS 14, the minimum is 1602 Cat 1. Remember, we cannot fly low visibility and we don't need to. So 1602. 1602 is the baro minima. All right, we are about equal time point. Very nice flight in the plateau, as we call it. You have on one side the Alps, on the other side you will have the Jura, and this is again a very nice sightseeing flight if you're flying to Switzerland and you land in Zurich and your final destination in Geneva, or the opposite, you will enjoy a beautiful flight. So make sure to sit on the right side if you're flying to Zurich, so you'll have a beautiful view on the Alps, or on the left side if you're flying to Geneva. When you have a clear day, it's beautiful. All right, what do we get here? FSI 145, turn right heading 070 due to traffic. Heading 070. All right, heading 070, heading selected. Due to traffic. What traffic? I see a traffic there. That's it. So somebody else is enjoying the sightseeing in Switzerland. Perfect. So ATC told us to turn right to avoid the traffic. Let's see if I can spot that traffic somewhere here. Don't see anything. Where is it? It's 11 o'clock, around 10 miles. Okay. Do we spot any traffic? Maybe it's time for me to go back for my medical check. I probably need to get my eyes checked again. I don't see any traffic. All right, it's very close by, 5 nautical miles to the left. Ah, here it is. Perfect. We can see the traffic right there. Okay, perfect. Finally, maybe I will postpone my medical visit now. Okay, so guys, we are still on heading. So let's hope ATC tells us to turn back on track, because now we are going not in the right direction for Zurich. All right. So we need to go to the left, right? Okay. Traffic is behind us, so I'm sure we'll get soon instructions to turn left. What do you think as well? Should we do this kind of stream live? Would you enjoy to have scenarios like this flown in lifetime where you can ask questions? Let me know in the comment if that's something you will enjoy, and then I might start doing that as well. All right, FSI 145 direct to Bersu, and we contact Zurich arrival on 130560. All right, again, my recommendation, do your things in the MCDU. So direct to Bersu, insert, we check we have in nav mode, Bersu is there, yes, and contact Zurich arrival 130560. We are going to set 130560. Here we go. Acknowledge. And let's contact Zurich arrival. Zurich arrival, Grüezi. This is FSI 145, maintaining level 150 on the left turn to Bersu. Here we go. So if the right frequency is then tuned, we got here. FSI 145 identified, cleared Bersu, Hermus, Gipol, expect vectors for ILS 28. Oh, change of runways. Okay, not a big deal. So let's check the flight plan first. Bersu, Hermus, Gipol. So right now I have Bersu. So after Bersu, I need to go to... Okay, so Bersu, then it's Hermus. Bersu, Hermus, Gipol, that's correct. And we need to land on runway 28. So why do we need to land on runway 28? You can see we have a prop 40 that the wind is picking up. This is exactly what is happening. So we have to replan for runway 28. Not a big deal. We have time. So we have the arrival, clear Hermus, Bersu, Gipol. So I will change here the runway. Zurich, arrival, and now we are going to go ILS 28. Insert. Okay, so the ILS 28 is there. So now be careful, you need to check again your minimum, because the minimum is gone and the wind has increased a little bit. So I will put 16 knots as the new wind. And let's bring the charts and let's have a look at ILS 28. So runway 28 in Zurich is a shorter runway, a little bit shorter than runway 14, runway 16. If you look at the airport, you can see runway 28 is 8,200 feet. And the thing is, you have a crossing runway right there, and it's the glide slope, sorry, is 3.5 degrees, 3.3 degrees. All right. So we are going to fly that approach. So we expect we are coming to Gipol. So either from Gipol we'll go Cloton, or maybe we get vectors. We'll see with ATC. So let's brief that. So localizer frequency is 109.75. The course will be 273. At Ramen we need to be at 5,000 feet. The airport elevation is 1,416. The sectors will be flying on the eastbound from Cloton VOR 4,500 feet. And then we go inbound. 3.3 degrees. We will go down. Today the weather is good, so we don't need to really check all the steps. As long as we stay visual, we are going down for Cat 1 minimum. For this aircraft, category C, with 4% capability that we have is 2,092. We need 4,300 meters, so 2,092. So let's put that here, 2,092. Barrow. All right, what I see here, Hermus, you see we are not going to the right place. We were cleared Hermus and then Gipol. Bersu, Hermus, Gipol. So be extra careful to fly what ATC told you, or nothing's gonna work with the scenario. So 9,000, let's go with the open descent. Acknowledge, and I have to change my routing there. So we go flight plan, after Bersu, Hermus, and then we need Gipol. So what I will do now is a direct to Gipol as we are overhead Hermus. So let's go direct to Gipol. That was the clearance, so always make sure you comply with the ATC clearance. Gipol, that's to my left, that's correct, insert. Alright, so we have the minimum, we are going now to Gipol, that's fine, and we are descending toward 900. Let's have a look at the go around. Should we go around? Initial climb will be 4,000 feet, that's what we will set in the FCU. We climb straight ahead to 2.5 miles. Then pass the station, turn left, maximum speed is 210, onto 193, continue right turn, and climb to 7,000 feet. So that's, I don't brief the whole thing, guys. I always check in the MCDU that you have the right go around up to Gipol, but what you need to keep in mind is the few steps. Okay, 4,000 feet straight ahead, 2.5 miles, left turn 193. Then you will have time to look at your chart. So always remember the first few steps. Okay, 4,000, straight ahead, 2.5, left 193. Now you are clear to go. If you brief the whole thing like this, do you think you will remember it? I doubt. It's complicated. All right, so we brief the approach. Let's go back in the sim. We are turning to Gipol. That's our clearance limit. After Gipol, we need to get more instructions from ATC. Approaching 10,000 feet. The speed must be 250 knots. So let's go 250 knots. It's a short flight, so I delayed a little bit the seatbelt. Cabin crew, they know that we give them late seatbelt very late, and we're approaching 10,000 feet. Lights are on. All right, speed is reducing. 250 knots. We are turning to Gipol. And now we expect ATC to tell us what to do. And runway 28, we use auto brake medium. So the briefing is done, minimum is set, auto brake is medium. I will set ILS on both sides, LSLS. And we are ready basically to get vectors. Or to get further instruction. Let's see. So Zurich should be on the right side here. I don't think we can see it from there. Nothing so far. So let's continue to Gipol. The speed is good. We have 250 knots. And here we go, FSI 145, direct flight direct to Cloton VOR, reduce speed 250 knots, we have already, and expect radar vectors, perfect for us. All right, flight direct to Cloton, perfect, so let's go Cloton. Direct to Cloton VOR, be careful there, look at this, what's happening when I put Cloton. You have one Cloton which is 14 miles, and one Cloton which is 5,000 miles away. One aircraft crashed because of that. So make sure you check the right one. Insert. We are going to Cloton, which is 15 miles. That looks good. And then we have vectors for 28. Perfect. So that's good. We don't need to worry about navigations. We are going to get vectors by ATC. Very straightforward. So just enjoy the sightseeing and be ready to comply with ATC instructions. Beautiful. So now when we turn inbound to Zurich, we should start to see the airport in front of us. Zurich has 3 runways, so we should see probably the airport in front of us very soon. And after we were with the approach, so we are expecting now to get transferred to final, probably 125330. So what I will do, I will pre-select 125330 just in case final is open. It depends on the traffic, sometimes they use it, sometimes not. So I will just pre-select it in case to make sure I don't lose time. 125330. Every time you have time and you're flying somewhere, try to think what could be the next thing, and I can save time. So here I set the ATC instructions. We could already program Charlie Fox 28 or RASM. If I look in my flight plan right now, I have Cloten, and thereafter I got a lot of mess up to Charlie Fox 28 Ramen. So what I will do myself is, once I'm on vectors, because now I'm still flying in lateral in nav, then I will update the MCDU. All right, so we can see now Zurich in front of us. That's the airport. So basically runway 28 right there, runway 16 right there, and this is runway 14 that is used most of the time. So normally Zurich use runway 14 for landing, runway 28 for departure for a short flight or for a narrow body. The wide body, they depart on runway 16. All right, Zurich is in front of us. How many miles? Now we have to look about, okay, FSI 145, speed 210 knots, contact final 125330. Okay, 125330 I have, and the speed 210. Okay, acknowledge, and I will contact final. Final grid C, FSI 145, maintaining 90. And 210, we were asked 210. I have 210. Above, green dot. FSI 145, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1022, and turn left heading 050. Okay, so heading 050. We need 6,000 feet. Open descent. Acknowledge. Here we go. So now we are on vectors, most probably. We are descending to 6,000 feet on 1022. So I can go 1022 on the 3 altimeters. And we can update our MCDU. So here what I will do is a direct to position ramen, and we will put the radial inbound the opposite. So the radial inbound is the opposite to the radial here, 273, so that's going to be 093. Minus 2 plus 2, 093, and we put that right there. Insert. When you do that, be careful. You have nav armed, so if you don't want armed nav to be armed, just deselect nav, because we are right now on vectors, so we don't want the aircraft to capture anything that we haven't been cleared for. So that's something as well to be careful. All right, so we are descending. Everything looks good. We are above up speed. My lights are on. And we probably expect to turn right at some point to get vectors. So let's see. Here we go. Turn right heading 090. Okay, 090. So that's downwind. Heading 090 set. So that's my downwind. We can see that ramen will be on the right side. So we're expecting to turn inbound, probably a beam ramen, because of the terrain. They will not cut you short here in Zurich, sorry, because you have terrain all around the place. So if they will let you descend here to 4,000 or 3,500 feet, it will be very unsafe, because you will be below MSA and you have terrain in that area. So most probably now you can assume that we will fly at 5,000 feet or at 6,000 feet to ramen and fly the ILS approach. All right, so let's see what's next. Now we are good. We are waiting for the cabin to be ready. ILS frequency 109.75, that has been checked as well. India Zulu Whiskey is identified. So everything looks good. waiting for ramen, for probably a base turn. As you can see, that flight is 30 minutes since we departed, so another 5-6 minutes and we will be on the ground, and we are not flying a straight in approach to runway 14. So it's quite a short flight, and it's very enjoyable, except when it's snowing, like, you know, Switzerland, sometimes it's snowing like crazy. Then it becomes, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, today we are lucky. It's a beautiful day. If you fly that scenario, you can import it directly in the simulator, as I showed you before, and you will be airborne very quick if you want to do the same flight as me. So maybe the idea will be to, depending on your comment, to plan maybe a weekly flight with ATC like this and some failures, and then we can fly it on different type of aircraft during maybe in the evening. So that could be one option I'm planning to do. All right, FSI 145, descend to 5,000 feet and turn right heading 180 base leg. All right, so 180. (5,000 feet). Let's go vertical speed minus 500 feet per minute. And turn right heading 180 base leg. Maintain speed 180 or more due to sequence. All right, so that's something as well that happens many times on busy airports. They give you speed restrictions. So now you can experience that as well with FSiPanel. So they want us to fly 180 knots or more until 6 nautical miles. All right, so not a big deal. You just have to know your aircraft and how to slow down. So right now, I'm going to activate the approach. It's already done. So if I go manage, you can see that my aircraft will reduce the speed to the up to the green dot, sorry. So if I want 180 knots, I can just go flaps 1, and now my speed will go to S bug, so that's fine. We're gonna maintain this 184 knots, whatever is right there, as you can see. 183. Perfect, that's fine. We comply with ATC. And now we get turn right heading 240, clear for the ILS 28. All right, 240. Here we go. And we are clear for the ILS. Approach. Acknowledge. See the terrain? So runway 28. Before it used to be a VOR approach, very tricky one. And approach lights are not the same as a full Cat 3 approach light system. Now it's a bit better because we have an ILS approach, and basically we fly to runway 28 due to restrictions of night flying over Germany. So in the evening, to avoid noise over Germany, this is why the aircraft lands on that short runway. It's quite nice, but it's not as easy as going for ILS 14. All right, so we get back to the ECAM status, nothing new. This is as soon as we extracted, as we took flaps 1. Radio altimeter is alive, and now we get lock star. Glide slope is armed, turning inbound. Perfect. Remember your go around. If you have to brief the whole go around by yourself up to Gipol, we will never remember. But remember what I said. Straight ahead, 2.5 miles, left 193, 4,000 feet. Easy. And then we have plenty of time to go nav or to pre-select whatever we need in the MCDU. All right, here we go, 180 to 6 miles. As you can see now, we are 11 miles. So we are still complying with the ATC instructions. Glide slope captured. When glide slope is captured, always set your missed approach altitude right away. 4,000 feet set. We are going down. Next step will be probably to switch to tower, and we have to monitor our 6 miles. We want to be latest stabilized by 1,000 feet. Some airlines will allow you in VMC condition to be stabilized by 500 feet. That depends on your airline. So be careful. 1,000 is always a nice gate to remember, and that will make you fly safe all the time. All right, what we could do now is go flaps 2, but if I go flaps 2, the aircraft will slow down. So I'll go selected speed. I take control of the speed. I put 180, and now I can go flaps 2. FSI 145, contact tower 1181. All right, 1181. This is where you see I was talking too much. I forgot to set the frequency, and this is where we lose time. 1181. Here we go. Okay, you can see I'm flaps 2 approaching 7 miles. Sorry, that looks good. Let's go gear down. Tower hello FSI 145, established 28, 7 miles. Flaps 3. We are number 2, continue approach, speed 180 to 6 miles. Perfect. We pass 6 miles. I go back now to manage speed, and we can reduce to our approach speed. Okay, speed is good, flaps full. And we should be stabilized, as you can see, the radio altimeter by 1000 feet, which is nice. The only thing we are missing is the flaps full. So we go flaps full, and we will be stabilized before. That's perfect. Okay, we get landing clearance now. FSI 145, clear to land 28, vacate left on Echo or Foxtrot, do not cross runway 1634. All right, good. Stabilized, landing checklist, landing memo is all green. Everything is good. So let's have a quick look there. This is what they meant here. If I show you the airport, we land on 28. We have to vacate Foxtrot or Echo, but do not cross that runway. Okay, perfect. So we are back on the 28, and we probably have then to contact apron after the landing. So we will see that later on. Now we are busy to do the landing. All right, we passed 1000 feet. We were stabilized. As you can see, we have a high speed right there because of the that's the ground speed that the aircraft is maintaining. Now the wind is dropping, so we will see that speed as well adjusted by the Airbus automatically, and we should have a threshold speed which will be roughly, what do we have right there, 128, 135, so probably around 140, I would say, due to the headwind. All right, we are fully stabilized. Let's go manual flight and see if we can land that aircraft on this runway and vacate to the left. Okay, autopilot comes off. Manual flight. Sometimes now I find out in MSFS that your PAPI are not aligned, with the glide slope, and we get either a wrong indication of the glide slope or a wrong indication of the PAPI. So I don't know if you experience the same thing, but we will see if here we get a call that we are too low. I'm flying now visual, so visual, I'm on the PAPI. Okay, we have 3 wide, now we are 2 and 2, maintaining the PAPI, 2 and 2. 100.
50, 40, 30, 20, restart. 5.
All right. Manual braking. That was a long landing for runway 28. Not very good. And we passed 60 knots. We can vacate one of these two, so I will take the second to the left. We have a taxi speed. Okay, FSI 145, turn left on Alpha Taxiway, contact the apron on 121755. Okay. First thing I will do, so we are clear to turn left on the Alpha Taxiway. So let's do that first, and then we will contact the apron. Now I can use as well FSiPanel to do the after landing flow, so I don't have to worry about that. I will just vacate the runway, turn left on Alpha. Alpha is the first to the left here. So very easy here, we turn left, and then we'll continue the scenario to make sure first you fly your aircraft and then you comply It's better to do that than going on the grass and then lose your license. All right, so left is Alpha. That's the one we want to take. Here we go. We are on Alpha. Now I can go for the after landing flow by just retracting the speed brake. Now FSiPanel is doing it for me. And I can go on apron 121755. So 121755. Okay, just let me stop here, or at least slow down. And we go 121755. 6755. They could have made frequency a little bit easier. 121755. Yeah, correct. Acknowledge. And let's go. Apron hello, grid C. This is FSI 145. We're on taxiway Alpha. Okay, FSI 145 grid C, taxi gate Alpha 09 via Alpha, Juliet, and inner taxiway. Alpha, Juliet, inner taxiway. Okay, so this is Alpha. Juliet, we can see the sign right there. Will be the next to the right. And the inner taxiway is the parallel taxiway that we have over there. All right, all good. We are going to take Juliet. I will bring JS6 to select gate Alpha 09 if available. Okay, let's see. Gate, we want Alpha 9. Follow me, not required. And we are going to take Swissport. Perfect. All right, here we go. So Juliet, that's the one coming to the right. So right is clear, yes. Let's go to the right on Juliet. And then we should have Alpha 09, which is to our left. Perfect. Here we go. Now, this is the inner taxiway. So we turn to the left. We should have Alpha 49, that's the one, and the second to the right should be Alpha 09, and you can see it nicely written, Alpha 09. All right, so let's try to make a nice 90 degrees turn right over the line here. See if we can do that. First of all, scenario is complete, well done, perfect, taxi light off. And we can see the parking position. So let's see if we can manage a right turn there without shitting and looking outside. So the line is right there, as you can see. So we just pass the nose wheel. And now we can start the right turn. Not too bad. Let's see what the, yeah, not bad, huh? Good. So that's a good technique. Now if we just look outside, we can see the aircraft. Looks like we are perfectly aligned. They are ready for a short turnaround with the truck already. That's good. We have the pushback truck ready. Okay, 6. So right, I will try not to screw it up for the last few meters here. I was pleased with my taxiing, so please do not screw it up right now. All right, 0.1. If I get a wrong taxi from GS6, I request a refund. Okay, parking brake is set. APU is available, so we can shut down the engine basically. Engines off, beacon light off, seatbelt, sorry, off, and we're gonna put the APU bleed for the passengers and turn off the fuel pumps. Make sure we have as well our transponder off. So right now it should be still on automatic as we were taxiing, so it's off right now. And some people say we should not, we should. I put 2000 right there. And that's it, we can request the boarding. Alright guys, I hope you liked that video. This was a flight from Geneva to Zurich using FSiPanel training scenario. And if you have any question, please drop it below on the comment sections. I will be very pleased to answer your questions. Let's have a look at that landing report. Okay, as you can see, the aircraft flew very well, and I was a little bit long on the landing, even though it's within the limits, knowing runway 28 and the ATC instructions do not cross runway 1634. That's floating too much. Was not a very good landing. That's why it's rated in amber. Of course, if you need to cross runway 1634, the runway is yours. Unless ATC tells you that it's closed, then they tell you a plan to vacate. They cannot force you to vacate. Basically, runway is yours if you have been clear to land. So I try to comply with the ATC instructions. We've managed. Be careful. If you cannot manage, just continue, cross the runway and vacate to the left. All right. That was it. I hope you enjoyed that video. See you around for another one. And as always, stay safe. Bye-bye. And I forgot to tell you, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Bye-bye.